Welcome everyone, and thank you for attending today's webinar. My name is Dr. Kelly Heim. I'm a nutritional pharmacologist at Klean Athlete. I'm also Senior Director of Scientific Affairs. And joining me today is Brian Jordan. Hello, Brian.
Hey, Kelly.
Brian is a technical manager for NSF International Certified for Sport program, and he is a former athletic strength and conditioning coach for the Colorado Rockies. So I'm really happy to have him here with me today, and this will be a short presentation. I will discuss the importance of high-quality supplements for all types of athletes, whether you're a recreational athlete or a pro. And so I'll review the Klean Athlete quality standards of manufacturing and testing. And Brian will then elaborate on the NSF Certified for Sport program and what that really means in terms of manufacturing and sourcing and testing, and then finally what it really means to you as an athlete, trainer, or coach. So that by the end, you'll have a good grasp of really what goes into making a high-quality, safe sports supplement and what you should look for when choosing a supplement. So feel free to submit questions, and we'll answer them at the end of the webinar. So just to get started, just going to go into a very brief speaker disclosure. I am a paid advisor to Klean Athlete. I don't have any other conflicts of interest to disclose, and the information today does not necessarily represent the opinions or position of the company. Klean Athlete is a line of NSF Certified for Sport nutritional supplements that are free from banned substances and contaminants. And this suite of products promotes peak performance by supporting an athlete nutritionally and also through supporting overall well-being. And a healthy athlete is a better athlete. It's really that simple. So what you're getting in the Klean Athlete line is what you need to not only to be healthy but to perform at your best. It's everything you need and nothing that you don't. Who trains Klean? The 2015 Klean Team USA. It's made up of 8 individual endurance athletes and 2 cycling teams. Those cycling teams are the Hagens-Berman U23 cycling team, Seattle, Washington, and the Axon cycling team of Golden, Colorado. They have all integrated Klean Athlete supplements into their training, competition, and their recovery routines. Klean Athlete is also an official partner of USA Water Polo and an official partner of the Major League Baseball Players Association, and both partnerships aim to help players reach their potential through nutrition while avoiding unsafe or banned substances. So this is the first of its kind partnership that we're very proud of. So what makes Klean different? There are 2 things that make Klean different, and I'm going to go through the first part, which is excellence in manufacturing quality assurance. I'm sure that if you buy supplements, you've probably heard similar language from from other messaging from other brands. It's a very common quality is a very common word, and what does that really mean? And you'll learn a little bit what quality really means. And then I'm going to hand it over to Brian, and he'll go into what it means to be NSF Certified for Sport and what that means in terms of quality. Klean Athlete is powered by Douglas Laboratories. Over the last 60 years, Douglas Labs has grown into a globally recognized leader. Douglas is dedicated to quality assurance. NSF International is a global public health organization, and it's helped Douglas Laboratories and other facilities that produce products within the Klean line as GMP certified. So GMP stands for Good Manufacturing Practices. These GMPs cover everything from raw material verification to finished product testing and label accuracy. But Douglas Labs is a big facility. There are 2 in-house certified accredited laboratories, lots of capabilities with manufacturing. There are 2 facilities in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All of the facilities that manufacture Klean products are NSF Certified for Sport. Think of a product label. Think of a supplement, the last supplement label you looked at. What you saw on that label. You saw 3 things. What's in it? Hopefully you saw what's in it. How much is in it? You'll see the dosage. You should. What's not in it is something that you really don't see on a label. That's where a lot of the problems happen. You don't know what is in there that might not be intended to be in there. And then what if something is in there at the wrong potency? There are a lot of errors that can occur. It all starts sourcing. It's a process that involves qualifying vendors. There are lots of vendors of ingredients all over the world. Douglas Labs only chooses those that meet very specific criteria. There's a vendor certification program. How do we know who to trust? Well, in the beginning, we don't really trust anyone. So the certification program goes through a series of qualification requirements that may include document review, testing of raw materials, and audits, and then specifications are established for every raw material. Testing is done by in-house and third-party laboratories, just making sure that every ingredient that we get is of the right potency and of contaminants and meets every single specification as far as what's supposed to be in there and what is not supposed to be in there. Then formulating the product takes those raw materials and puts them into a formulation in the right amounts. So every ingredient has to be in the right amounts. And how do we determine the amounts? There's a product development team that I'm a part of. I make sure that these formulations are meeting a very high standard of scientific integrity and based on published studies. And then everything that we tell you has to be a high quality and accurate message. So scientific substantiation is something that we do very, very well, and we're very compliant in that way. It's all about giving you accurate information. So when we say BCAA supplementation increases nitrogen retention, which can reduce the loss of lean muscle tissue, this is something that has to have a substantiation file of supporting research. And we submit all these claims to the FDA prior to launch, just so that they have them. So going back to that label, what is in there and how much is in there, a lot of that accuracy in labeling requires compliance on a number of levels. Dietary supplements are regulated by the FDA. The FDA regulates supplement ingredient safety, manufacturing, and marketing. And the FDA inspects facilities to make sure they follow GMPs. NSF is a third-party organization that independently monitors and validates compliance of Douglas Labs and any other manufacturing facility that Klean Athlete uses through a rigorous certification process. So all facilities have to unconditionally meet or surpass GMP standards and manufacturing regulations. So it's not just about meeting regulations and meeting expectations, but surpassing them. Products are manufactured, of course, under GMPs. There are 2 internal third-party audits per year at Douglas, and then there's an annual regulatory review of labeling and marketing materials. Again, making sure that those labels and the messages that we're giving you are completely accurate and compliant. The process that goes into making a product is shown here. If you've ever wondered, it all starts with what's called an MMR, or a Master Manufacturing Record. It's kind of like a batch recipe that has all the information that is needed to make a supplement precisely in the right composition with the right specifications. Everything has to be reproducible and consistent, and it has the instructions on all of those levels of precision, from weights, testing methods, equipment operation, etc. And then testing is important. Testing raw materials upon receipt. Ingredients will be rejected if they don't meet standards, I'll go into in a minute, of purity and potency and safety. And then weighing and blending, encapsulation, tableting, lots of inspection steps happen along the way, and then another stage of testing the final product to make sure that the label claim is accurate. So this is a long process. It involves an extremely detail-oriented inspections, a lot of documentations, and an incredible collaborative effort on everyone's part. Some of the testing is shown here. Identity testing, there are a variety of methods, but not every method is suitable for all ingredients. So it has to be the correct method for the right ingredient. Microbes can occur in raw materials. We make sure that every incoming raw material is clean. Purity, of course, involves making sure that heavy metals aren't there, and looking at weight, hardness, disintegration. These are physical characteristics that need to be looked at. Stability is key, because what you see on a label when you buy the product has to be what you see on the label when the product expires. How much of that label claim is retained over time? So a stability program ensures that every product is completely viable and meets all of the potency and purity specifications throughout its shelf life. So excellence in manufacturing quality assurance is one way in which Klean is different. Brian will now go into what NSF Certified for Sport really means.
Thank you, Kelly. That's a great job. I'm going to begin by giving a brief history of NSF and what we believe in, what our dietary supplement program structure looks like. I'm going to talk about the banned substances we test for and what our research projects have shown over time. And then lastly, I want to discuss why NSF Certified for Sport program is important for professional and amateur athletes. So to begin our history, We were founded in 1944 as a out of the University of Michigan as a public health and safety organization. Our mission has been and always is protecting and improving human health. As you can see, we've established about 70 standards from water to other programs. And in 2003, we published the first ANSI accredited standard for dietary supplements. So the ANSI program, the ANSI accreditation, is an important accreditation in the United States to recognize as basically a third party for us in our standard, so that we maintain the standard up to their qualities. So we actually have a third party that makes sure our standards in which we test by are held up. Shortly after we published the standard in 2003, we started the Certified for Sport program. So as we go along, as you can see here, our dietary supplement program begins with GMP registration. Kelly alluded to that earlier, what that process looks like, but in order to get certified with NSF certification, we begin with the GMP registration, which is, the good manufacturing practices. The purpose is to make sure that those things are taken care of, from raw ingredients to the processes of delivering a finished product is being upheld. The step 2 of our process is the product ingredient certification. So we test to that standard that I alluded to, the ANSI accredited standard for dietary supplements. So we test to that, which is we're testing for label claims, we're testing for heavy metals and pesticides, we are testing the contents to make sure that what is on the label is actually inside the product. Our last step and our most stringent certification, obviously, is our NSF Certified for Sport. This goes through the same process as the prior certification, which is label testing, the heavy metals, all that, the pesticides testing. On top of that, we do test for 245 now plus substances that are banned substances in Major League Baseball and NFL, the WADA list. As you can see, Klean Athlete represents one of our NSF Certified for Sport clients, the people that have gone through this process to deliver a product and a line of products that has been stringently tested for quality and also for not having anything in it that shouldn't be in there. For us, we test for 245 plus substances, which I alluded to, but we also are part of the Major League Baseball program requirement. So the program requires that anyone that is employed by Major League Baseball or the NHL can only recommend or provide NSF Certified for Sport products. The reason being is, over time, we've seen really past 15, 20 years, and a lot of you have heard and have seen the research done on products being adulterated. This year alone, in about 2016, there's been 8 to 10 that have been associated with dietary supplements that were not tested, that they failed the drug test. So it's a problem with some of the products. And we do research, we do collaborations with people when it comes to testing of products. This is an example right here. As you see, this is a research project that we did. This is a product that appears to be a pre-workout product. This is what was found inside. So the label looks very normal for a workout supplement, dietary supplement. This is what's actually inside. So as you can see, that this is something that pro sports, consumers, everyone is aware of and should be aware of. At NSF, we obviously take pride in testing to those standards to make sure that the labels and the banned substances are not in these products, and that the label do match up. So it's important for amateur athletes, for professional athletes, to be able to have options, taking dietary supplements that are been tested for quality, for assurance that it doesn't have banned substances that would cause them to fail a drug test. So this is part of our program, NSF Certified for Sport program. We have more information on our website. And that's all I have. Kelly?
Thank you, Brian. So I'll continue by going into what this really means for you. So think about the term quality, what that really means. Quality is really the end result of surpassing industry standards on all levels, from sourcing to formulation to manufacturing to testing to labeling to regulatory compliance and certification. What you see is what you get on a label when you use a brand like Klean, when every lot of finished product meets the most validated and stringent numerical definitions and qualitative definitions of purity, potency, and safety. And all of these factors make an effective and safe product. Can you see that stuff on a label? No, you can't. So that's why it's important to trust your brand. What it means to you, whether you're an athlete, a recreational athlete, or a pro or an Olympian, or whether you're a trainer or a coach, it's peace of mind that you won't fail a drug test. Safety, of course, is key. Effectiveness. An effective product has to follow the steps that I outlined. It's safety and efficacy that really go hand in hand. And a reliable product. You're not going to get lots of a certain product that are going to be different from the other product that you had last time, and you might not get the same effect. You'll get the same product, the same formulation, same dosage every time. And all of this adds up to trust. You can trust the brand. You can trust not only what's in our products and how accurate the labels are, but you can trust everything that we tell you about the product when it comes to what you'll read in the catalog or online, or whether you attend a webinar such as this one or a webinar on a more specific topic. All of that information is going to be based on scientific literature and the most recent research. Our door is always open. My contact information is at the bottom of your screen. My colleague Adam Branfton, who's the brand manager, is also available if you have any product questions. So we'll get into some questions, and some of these will probably be for me and some of them will be for Brian, but I will moderate the discussion. So how often are the products tested for banned substances? Brian, how often would they be tested?
So when a client comes in and wants to have their product tested, it is tested. There's an audit, and then it is tested per the batch. So you get the lot tested, and then that specific lot goes up on the website and lists the product that is been tested and the lot that it came from, so that there is no miscommunication or there is any confusion that that actual tested product came from that specific lot.
Another question is, how do you know if a brand is certified for sport? The NSF Certified for Sport, you'll see that logo on the product label. Brian, is that the same for every brand that is NSF Certified for Sport?
Yes, the NSF Certified for Sport products have the label, have the mark on the label, but also they can also do it on the website. So you can go to the website, and they can have on the website and identify products that have gone through NSF Certified for Sport certification. So you're always looking for...
Yeah, going back to the label, you can't... I was just going to say, going back to our label, imagining a label, you don't really see a lot on there, but you can't expect to. So that's another reason to go to the manufacturer's website, and you should be able to find the NSF label on there, and also information about their quality control practices. Another question, how can I find NSF certified sport products such as protein bars? Brian, is there a way that athletes can go somewhere online and find a list of reputable brands? Is that sort of resource out there?
Yeah, I mean, we list all our certified for sport products on our website, on the nsfsport.com website. It lists all the products that have been certified through our program, those can be sorted out through specific nutrients. So if you want to look for a protein, you want to look for, you know, a multivitamin, you can go on and look and sort through the products that have been certified through our program. And bars as well. We also, as I didn't mention earlier, we also have a functional food certification that, you know, bars and things like that we test, you know, and certify.
So that URL is nsfsport.com. I went there, I've gone there many times, and it's a great resource for information if you want to learn more about the program. Another question, you mentioned that there may be substances that aren't on the label. In the pharmaceutical world recently, benzophenone has been seen to migrate through packaging. Do you look for ways to prevent migration contamination? Brian, do you have any perspective on that?
When we test our products, we are testing for contaminants, pesticides, heavy metals, and then the 245 plus banned substances. So we are testing for a lot of different things, whether it be contaminants or banned substances. We don't just test for banned substances.
So it's not just about not failing a doping test, it's about being safe, obviously.
Yeah, it's about quality and safety.
The list of banned substances does change. This is a question that's a good one. It changes, and how do brands continually ensure that products are clean from banned substances? I'm sure you guys at NSF, that you probably keep up to date on the latest list. I'm curious how often that list changes.
Well, we update, you know, I want to say probably close to 3 times a year, if not more, that we're adding capabilities of testing new substances, because we know how quickly new substances are popping up. But the reality of it is that's not based off of Major League Baseball WADA list necessarily, because they're not updating it that often. They're only able to update it routinely, maybe every year, especially WADA, they reevaluate. But that's a process that they have in place, how often they can add, you know, substances to their list. Obviously, there's a build-in for drug testing. They can't just drop it on people, you know, haphazardly. There's a process that they have, as well as we do. We come across substances that we would find in dietary supplements, substances that will be tested by WADA, by Major League Baseball, by NFL, by the NHL, and other organizations, and we add that to our testing screen, and that will be part of our you know, banned substance screens, as well as if there's any you know, new dietary ingredients, things like that pop up over time. That's part of our list that we create as well, and the research that we do.
Here's a question for me. Is the main difference between the Klean line and the typical Douglas supplement the additional testing certified for sport, or does Douglas use different suppliers for the Klean line? Well, a lot of Klean products, most Klean products are manufactured at Douglas Labs at the facility in Pittsburgh. Powders are manufactured in other facilities, but they are all NSF certified for sport facilities, so they meet the same standards. Otherwise, all the testing, manufacturing, all the Klean products live up to that same standard when it comes to sourcing, formulation, manufacturing, testing. If it is another facility, it has to be NSF certified for sport for it to be considered, obviously. Brian, this is a question for you. Has an NSF certified product ever been traced back to a positive test, positive doping test?
No.
No, yeah. How does NSF Certified for Sport compare to Informed Sport and other programs? If you can answer that, do you have any perspective?
I mean, I'll be honest, we don't, we do things the way we do them very well. I don't analyze our other third-party competition out there, but the reality of it is we have the most comprehensive third-party testing program for dietary supplements out there, because of the fact that we do go through a physical audit, not a paper audit. We do a physical on-site audit at the manufacturing facility to make sure that raw ingredients and all the processes that would cause possible contamination, possible adulteration, those kind of things, we make sure that we do physical on site. So that's one thing that we do that allows us to be a comprehensive program, as well as the label testing. We also test for the contents of what's inside the product. We don't just do a basic ABS, athletic banned substance screen. We also test for the actual amounts of nutrients and ingredients in a product. So if you're claiming to have 8 grams of protein in your product, we are testing to make sure that that is accurate. And if it's not, then you cannot label your product for that, and we will not certify it. So it's not just testing for ABS and just finished products for safety. We are testing, obviously, the most comprehensive way possible, which is from GMP through finished product and the quality of the finished product of what you're claiming on the label. We do all that.
I believe we are out of time. I just want to conclude by, of course, thanking you and kind of just summarizing by saying that being a clean athlete is a lifestyle choice. It's making choices that not only optimize your performance, but are consistent with your total health and wellness. So that's what this is about. It's about supporting health and wellness and a healthier athlete and a better athlete. And in every product, you're getting an effective product, you're getting what you need, and you're not getting anything that you don't. I just want to thank you again for your attention, and thank you, Brian, for joining us today.
Thank you, Kelly, for having me.
Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you.